We are your hosts for today. My name is Franklin Mireri, and we are glad to be with you for the next hour, exactly an hour. And this is the culmination of the COMESA Youth Leaders Bootcamp, which started on the 14th of December, and it is ending today. And we are the first cohort of the bootcamp. Let's hear some of that.
Oh, today is my day. Oh, na, na, na. Today is my last day to smoke. I have been a heavy smoker. I've smoked the import and exported one. Oh, please. Roll for me a big one. I want to smoke for the last time. Today is my day. Today is my
Tulizaliwa tuwepo, sio kwamba tupo wengi walikuwepo, sasa hivi wako wapi? Tulizaliwa tuwepo, sio kwamba tupo wengi walikuwepo, sasa hivi wako wapi? Oh mama, oh papa,
Okay, we have been here 5 days. And the 5 days that we have been here, I think we have done a lot. So, this evening, we are going to see the products of the 5 days that we have been here. So, I wish to welcome all of you, Sir, the host, Mr. Ezra. We thank you for hosting us here at this very beautiful MS TCDC Center. We are very happy that you extended your welcome to us and the team from the COMESA Member States. We have representatives from 10 COMESA Member States here. Actually, if we count even people from Secretariat and from AU, I think it's even more than that. We are about like 12 member states represented here. So this is a group, it's a big part of Africa. COMESA has great interest in young people because we know that young people are the majority in the COMESA region. So we cannot do what COMESA does without paying attention to the young people. This is the reason why we are here this evening. So we are here the whole this week, including this evening. So the young people, as you will see, they have great talent. They have great ideas that can actually change the way things are done on the African continent and in the COMESA region. So we are very excited that the products that young people are proposing, the initiatives, the solutions, when they implement them, they will really be things that will propel Africa and the way we do things on the African continent. So as COMESA, we are very excited and we are here to support you. That's why we brought you to this place so that we together, in an integrated manner, we can move Africa forward. Because no one single country can move Africa forward. We need to move together as one. So the African Union is represented here, and the African Union will fill gaps where we will not reach. We are working together with the African Union in this cause, and I'm sure they will get to the other member states that are not members of COMESA. So we welcome you once again. We are to have you. Please enjoy your evening. There is no winner here. Everyone is a winner. Because all your initiatives are great initiatives. So thank you very much for this opportunity. I also want to extend our gratefulness to the team that you have here. It's a formidable team. A team of young women and men. I think you are doing great work. I can't mention all your names, but please, can you wave at me? You are really doing great work. I think my team can attest to that. I was telling one of my colleagues that I think from now onwards, I'm not a gender champion, I'm a youth champion. The gender championship is for other people. For me, so thank you very much. Enjoy your evening.
We're about to have our participants come up and pitch to you what they think is the best solution for one Africa.
Yep, and first off, we will have Team Africano comprised of Rwanda, Sudan, and Zimbabwe. Then it will be followed by Team Ubuntu comprised of Zambia and Ethiopia.
And lastly, Sauti ya Vijana.
Socio-economic development policies. I have a solution. Team Africano has a solution to have the Youth Gov Network, which is the first regional digital youth network under the stewardship of COMESA to address the socio-economic development challenges. What is this network? This network will be established through an app where young people, structures, regional bodies from grassroots to national level engage, ensure participation of young people to make sure that they are engaged and participate in socio-economic development issues, talk about employment opportunities, as well as other issues that affect young people. This is a multi-sectoral, non-partisan app, by the way. Can it be done? Yes. COMESA has already established the 50 million African Women Speak app. I had the privilege of actually being on this app yesterday, quite interactive, young business people, women being on this platform in Africa to engage and talk about business issues that are challenging, and COMESA, when it comes to regional level, proffer solutions on how it can help. Young people come into play. We have the numbers. There is power in numbers. Can it be done? Yes. Young people are also techno-savvy. We know the potential of how social media can be used. It already has been done before in Africa. My team had an experience. We had Sudan, where young people, through social media, mobilize people to participate. In Zimbabwe, we have the U Report, where we disseminate information and ensure accountability, as well to ensure that young people participate in these decision-making platforms. Rwanda already has the Youth Connect, where young people across Africa are discussing and talking about socio-economic development issues. Who is on my team to make sure we realize this reality? We have COMESA, AU, government, youth leaders. And what do we ask for you to make sure it works? Media support to raise awareness and to ensure that there is access, technical support to ensure young people are engaged and participate in a constructive way in these platforms. Government commitment such that we have buy-in to ensure that there's youth mainstreaming. And last but not least, most importantly, COMESA to partner with youth councils to ensure that young people are engaged and participate. Thank you.
I, Chimba Rakib from Team Wazalendo, I count. This is Africa, where leaders think about the next general elections instead of the next generation. 2 out of 340 parliamentary seats in Uganda are only one gazetted for the young people. 0.6% of the parliamentarians in Tanzania are the only young people. What does this signify? There is little participation of the young people in decision-making and overall governance. Democracy hasn't lost its course though. We can challenge the status quo. The question is, how? 1. National Youth Torch Campaign. This is a marathon of ideas presenting very well the participation of the young people in leadership, which is supposed to move from one country to another to attain our goal. 2, educational reforms and mentoring. We very well know that anything starts with mindset change. So we need to incorporate civic education so as to mentor the young people and have this idea of participation in leadership right from lower levels to the higher levels. What will this cause? It will be the question in our minds. We need 1 million young people engaging in the marathon from each and member country. This is a good impact. We also need 5,000 young people, 40% being ladies, to be mentored into leadership position. We need an increase, or we need a 30% increase in youth participation in a leadership position across Africa. Of course, the question is, how can we achieve this? We all very well know we have existing structures like the National Youth Council, the ministries to sustain this. We have customized youth programs like dialogues and also have fundraising strategies to make sure that we have the funds for the program. This team you see here is the team you can entrust with the ideas they've come up with. They have network, experience, information, and knowledge within handling youth issues of over 30 years. What do we need? We need COMESA partnership, AU, East African community, to talk to their member state to render us the support we need. We also need each young leader, Africa, Malawi, Uganda, to come up and fulfill this because it's attainable. The Africa I want is Africa where my voice, your voice, their voice counts. We're tired of being residents, we need to be presidents.
Kindly turn to the person next to you and tell them the future is now. What do you want to be when you grow up? Was a question this gentleman, Abdullah, was often asked. A president, he would respond. But because the environment in which he grew up in was not favorable, he only found himself becoming nothing but a perpetrator of political violence. Ketila, a 27-year-old young lady in Malawi who desired to be a business tycoon. But because the environment in which she grew up in was also not favorable, she found herself only living in her state of a dream. 300 million young people across Africa. 40% of that population are either unemployed, unempowered, or uneducated, whose lives are totally misguided and whose lives are not even well defined. Ladies and gentlemen, a nation that fails to prepare its youth for the future, it is a nation that is preparing to fail. And with that leadership crisis presented before your presence, we present before you the Youth Zenia leadership model that will address Africa's leadership problem in 5 categories, being the Ubuntu Leadership Academy, the Ubutainment Media Network, the Africa We Want Model Village, the Subject to Citizen Challenge, and finally the African Youth Presidential Present. But many of you might be asking, what is so spectacular about this project? This project is spectacular in the sense that it is intergenerational in nature. It is a project that can finance itself. It is a project that is mobile in nature. And lastly, it is a project that has a Pan-African ideal to it. And one thing I want to tell you is that in the next 5 years, where do we see ourselves? We want to see how we can train 2,500 young people who are going to be called in the Ubuntu Fellows. We also want to see how we can have 1,335 young people trained in our African Youth Presidential Present, and also gather resources to build for ourselves the Africa We Want model village. And finally, we want to see how we can undertake subject to citizen challenge strategies across Africa in the next few years. Many of you might be asking, what is so spectacular about this team I'm working with? We are spectacular in the sense that we have written books, we advise politicians. Mind you, we have an honorable on our team of Ethiopia. That is one thing that we also need to be proud of. What a wonderful team there. The partnerships that we wish to seek is that we want to have technical support as well as financial support in one way or the other from people such as COMESA and the African Union, governance and business experts, as well as academic institutions. We know that we have the financial capacity to support ourselves, but there are areas where we are going to lack. So we need $2 million from people like you. And lastly, but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, this idea is beautifully like 99.6%.
No. No. I say no. That's not it. It's about law and meaningless representation of youth in governance. For example, in Uganda, only 2.1% of political positions have been set aside for the youth. But don't worry, we are youth. There is a solution. And what is the solution? We have developed an app. Musical to our youths. An app, governance app, mobile app. Beautiful. Why is it beautiful? This is what it's gonna do. It is gonna enforce accountability and quality of participation in governance by our youths. How? Election process by our youths will be made so easy, it will be done from home and anywhere that our youth will be. Next, for our youth, it will be easy to track performance for our leaders that we've put in governance. And above all, this will provide a good platform for civic education and dialogue. Today, we have this idea. We are going to develop this application, definitely. We are going to present it to our governments and the National Youth Councils for buy-in. After that, we are going to pilot and launch our instrument. It is then that we are going to customize our product for all the COMESA countries to be able to use it. What results do we expect from this product? This is what we expect. At up to 99.9% reduction in corruption and, of course, sabotage in governance system in our election processes. We also expect 30% increase in percentage of participation of youth in governance. And if you add 1 + 1, you get 75% economic participation in economic engagement. Our team comprises of experts from the ministries on matters youth. It comprises of COMESA team. It comprises of the youth themselves with a lot of passion, with a lot of energy, and the right attitude to implement this product. What do we ask from you guys? We ask for partnership from COMESA team, from governments, and from everyone around the world to ensure that our youths are able to participate in governance. And for you know, Africa, 60% of our population is youthful. What does that mean? We have an asset. We have the energy. We have everything that we want. And it is up to us to engage our youth, to participate in governance. And whatever nation that will not invest in its youth will cease to exist. Thank you.
My question for you is, you said all the COMESA countries will use that app. What about all those countries that aren't from COMESA?
Thank you. That's a very beautiful question from a very young mind. And I just want to say that we are starting in our countries first. Then we are going to grow to COMESA countries. And if it works best for us, then we are going to call upon the entire world to adapt the app. Thank you.
Hi everyone. This is beautiful. I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm feeling very happy, very excited. You feel the same? Yes. You feel the same? Yes. The ones who came in to observe, are you excited about the concept? Yes. Huh? That doesn't sound like an exciting yes. Yes. So without making this any more longer than it is, would like to say thank you to everyone. First of all, the presenters that came here, we know, the ones who are cheering the loudest, we know the work that took to get you here on stage. So congratulations, you did such a fabulous job. You represented your team very well. Kudos to the teams for supporting, backing up your friends, your teammates. Can't forget, there are very crucial people here. You would not have known who they are for those inside the class or bootcamp who knew, but the mentors, the facilitators that were with them every day coming up to this point. There's a lot of sticky notes, a lot of marker pens, a lot of blue tack, a lot of many things that led to this point. So thank you to the facilitators as well. Kudos to you. To COMESA, to African Union, AGA, to the Swiss Development Corporation, would like to thank you for partnering with TCDC, with the Youth Leadership Summit to host this, a first of its kind. And for me, I'm hopeful because it means an institution like COMESA or African Union to do a bootcamp, a youth bootcamp in this style. Guys, we gotta say we made a stride. So let's take up this space, let's use it, let's push the boundaries, let's make it great. Thank you so much.